The contrast between the mainstream society consensus reality and the alternative greatly diminished reality, the miniaturized black and white scape, advocated by pseudoskeptics, can be ascertained by running an example past the two groups, a statement of reported facts, according to the norms of mainstream society. Short news item here, one of hundreds currently being collated, at a research website, about a matter most of us forgivably put in the THB, the too hard basket. Psychic detectives, senior police officers confirm there are some psychics who have exceptional psychic gifts. Kurt Hameline, Assistant District Attorney of Oneida County, stated words to the effect that using gifted psychics was critical in providing physical evidence to catch murderers in a particular case. Gifted psychic and medium Phil Jordan gave the police critical information, some 15 most relevant facts, which led to the arrest and conviction of 3 murderers now serving 100 years in prison each. Sheriff Bill Hazenayer, of Oneida County Sheriff's Office, stated in his own words, "I accept the psychic's role in helping with murder cases, and I will call them again, because they get results. I am now a great believer in psychics helping the police." Sergeant Linton Clark of Oneida Sheriff's Office said, in his own words, "Yes, I completely agree about the use of psychics in solving murders. This is one of hundreds of crime cases solved with the help of psychics, and by the consensus reality standard of our modern Western society, the above case report is a statement of fact." Thus most people of average disposition would not question the report at all, particularly as all the report participants are named, still alive and contactable, and we know these people only make such public statements when there is complete and indisputable documentation, from beginning to end, to back up the legal position and reasoning as to why 3 murderers were jailed for 100 years each. The documentation and evidence presented would include birth, marriage, and death certificates, forensic examiners' reports, educational records, psychiatric reports, police reports, court records, the documented evidence trail, and would include how some 15 pieces of evidence were obtained, with the assistance of a psychic. Mainstream people would generally not question all the indisputable documentation and court process, and would happily accept that the paranormal, mysterious and inexplicable, though it is, has an output proven in the physical fact of a successful conviction of 3 murderers who can be contacted today in prison. Asked to explain, the mainstream person would happily give the triple criminal conviction case a rubber stamp of normal reality approval without blinking, and likely put the psychic portion in their personal THB, their too hard basket, which is what we all do. Us mainstream, average people. And typical thoughts crossing their mind as they put the baffling psychic bit into their too hard basket would be, why can't we all do that? And why can't I ever do that? And why can't the psychic win the lottery? To which there are never any answers forthcoming. As usual, that's the function of the too hard basket, and then something else grabs their attention, and the reported incident is just another curious memory. Not so the case with pseudoskeptics, defined in Wiki, followers, and devotees of James Randi, who are firmly hypnotized into the James Randi nonsense that the paranormal does not exist, simply because he mendaciously says so. Mendacious means liar. Dear skeptics, he is deceiving all of his audience, full-time. This means you, dear skeptic, he has, all of his life, as a magician, done decades of mendacious paranormal bashing, like quite a few earlier magicians, such as Thurston, Dunninger, and Houdini, simply for self-promotion, and nothing more. These all offered unwinnable paranormal prizes, and never paid out. You still don't get the message in that underlined sentence, you online pseudoskeptics? Which seriously calls into question whether you really understand what you read. The conclusion is a resounding tragic no, as you take James Randi's mendacious proclamations to be not just literally true, but absolutely true, and unquestionable, and to be defended automatically, with religious zeal. This very action, of not questioning the basis of your own position, that is questioning the claims of James Randi, is the very essence of pseudo-skepticism, defined in your own holy book Wiki, as being a community of people behaving quite irrationally, and very dishonestly, belligerently, unintelligently, and having no interest or knowledge of the subjects disputed. And that comes from a founding father of the skeptic movement, Mario Truzzi, and one of the great celebrated fellows of CSICOP, skeptic high priestess, Susan Blackmore. She was scathing and brutal toward you, skeptics, denouncing you all as seriously deficient, derailed personalities. Don't you get it yet? Is the skeptic movement your friend? No, its Speak headquarters condemns you, personally. Can't you read? Obviously not. Do you understand what you read? Obviously not. And that shows every day in your chat line entries. And you take James Randi's proclamations so literally, and type them obediently, all over the net. So when you come across an article, as applied, with legal proofs, police testimony, and physical outputs of psychic phenomena, such as jail sentences, you go into automatic denial of the THB, the too hard basket, as if you are a magician desperately needing publicity by a controversy, which you are not. Do you know that? Or do you think that you are a magician too? The whole skeptic movement behaves like barking dogs, obedient trained dogs, that bark and snarl, on keywords, trained by James Randi. And he reads dog magazines, do you know, even publishes in them scientific articles. Just ponder that. So what's he up to? Would you rate your personal loyalty to the skeptic movement and James Randi as high as a dog's loyalty? Or even higher? You certainly are doggedly faithful, with unswerving loyalty. So eager to please. So eager to defend your little piece of James Randi territory. Did you know that Pavlov's dog experiments, like ringing a bell and causing them to salivate, also works on humans? Do you salivate reading this? You have been trained by James Randi, dear skeptic, to perform for him, wherever you are, online, to a small set of keywords. And you do it so well, howling, and growling, and defending on command. You are just too obedient, for your own good, dear skeptics. Maybe you should read dog magazines like James Randi. A salivatory salute. I just piddled here. You can't let that go unchallenged now, can you? Video coming.
I don't know, skeptics, if you can hear in the background right now, it's Ramadan time and my wife is playing Islamic prayer chants. These are from the Quran, and they go through a 30-day period of fasting, and it's a religious practice done by Muslims every year. And I'll tell you what doesn't happen to me when I hear those Islamic prayer chants. I don't go into automatic denigration, denial and dismissal role on behalf of James Randi. I'm not that easily key-worded. I don't start denouncing religions and the too hard basket just because I hear the word Islam, okay? So I caught you there, didn't I? I know what went through your mind as soon as you heard the word Islam. Attack! James Randi says attack all religions. We're all atheists, aren't we? We're all scientists, right? So you really fell in there, didn't you? Gotcha. In case you don't know, prayer chants are really just meditations. They're a long series of mantras, and you can chemically, scientifically measure the results of doing this repeatedly, day after day after day, in a person's blood and brain waves. It's well and truly established. So there is some value in Islamic and Christian religious practices. Prayer is all about self-attunement. Now, you don't want to know about that because it's all in that terrible too hard basket, which you have agreed to bark at very loudly every time you hear about it, to pretend that it's not there and growl if someone brings it to your attention, okay? So, well, you subscribe to James Randi. That's your doing, you have done that. But I suspect there's something better you could do. We do notice skeptics online are deprived of a whole lot of emotions. They just don't show them online at all, and it's noted by many observers. Fun, laughter, humour, jokes, joviality, being kind to others, kindness. It doesn't come from skeptics online. They're so busy doing their the best canine impersonation they can in support of James Randi. Sneering, snarling, sneering, growling. Can I suggest you might actually do better to unsubscribe from James Randi and subscribe to a dog or a cat. Get some pet that adores you. Doesn't take long. You feed a dog 3 times and he adopts you as a parent. It's a very powerful thing. It works on deprived people such as prisoners, marginalised very much they are, and it's been discovered by psychologists that if you get cruel, damaged criminal people serving long jail sentences, you give them a pet to look after, they suddenly start to experience emotions they never thought they had. It actually causes them to emotionally flower and soften, and their connections to other people improves. That's why they have been inadequate in their connections to other people, their relationships, their social skills have been severely lacking because they never had an adoring dog or a cat to look after and to be adored by such a creature. And it's a very easy way out. And can I suggest to you that you made a big mistake agreeing to be an aggressive, snarling pit bull working for James Randi. It's a bad idea, sneering, snarling, etc. at everyone you meet online, because that's all you seem to do. Do think about this, dear skeptics, because this is the way Susan Blackmore talks about you, in very scathing ways. She's not complimentary about you at all in Wikipedia when you look it up, Pseudoskeptics. Do look her up. Her comments about you are quite telling. So we've never actually done a survey to try and find out whether James Randi devotees, the so-called pseudo-skeptics defined so nicely by Susan Blackmore, whether any of them like animals or possess animals. Do they have pet animals at all? I would suspect very much not. Now, you have a big chance here, skeptics, to answer below this video, and you can do the usual thing of sneering, snarling, sarcasm, cheating and lying like you often do, and that will prove the very thing that I'm alleging about you and what Susan Blackmore says about you, which is more telling, more pointed, more fruitful if you can think about what she says about you, that you have no interest in reality or discovering reality. That's what she says in essence. Now, can I suggest something that you can do? It's so incredibly simple. Try and be something very naughty. Try and be disobedient. See if you can not respond to keywords like Islam or Christian or religion, and don't go sneering and snarling at somebody online, because you're just repatterning and strengthening your own obedience to a very narrow-minded showbiz entertainer's requirement for adulation, to have a following. So all he's got, James Randi's only got hundreds of thousands of people sneering and snarling in unison like Pavlov's dogs. Do you want to go down this track for the rest of your life, being so obedient without realizing? Don't let yourself be so readily keyworded. Try the novel concept of being disobedient. Boy, oh boy, what a challenge that is. Try being nice to somebody online, and can I suggest that the emotions we see missing from you online, which is noted by many, many observers, are likely able to flower if you just allow a little creature into your life, such as a dog or a cat or a parrot or a budgerigar or something like that. Because I know they have a more interesting, a more exciting emotional life than you do. And man and companion animals are made for each other. It's kind of obvious to anyone who's got domestic animals, companion animals. So there I throw you a challenge. Have a better life than just being an obedient pit bull for James Randi. Dare to be disobedient and let something love you. I'd better leave you now, eh?